Welcome to this full body mat Pilates practice to strengthen, stretch, and wake up the whole body. Let's get started in child's pose. Resting top of your shins. Reach your arms out in front and soften your torso and your head towards the mat. Close your eyes. Relax your physical body. And give yourself this space to set the tone for your practice. Allow yourself to meet your inner experiences, your inner emotions and inner thoughts with loving kindness, accepting exactly how you're feeling today. Let us welcome in cleansing energy with 3 nourishing breaths. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. From this space of clarity and openness, you might like to set an intention for your practice today. Maybe it's one word to signify a feeling that you'd like to embody. If you have no intention, simply attune to the rhythm of your breath. On your next breath, press up into tabletop position, aligning your shoulders atop of your wrists. On an inhalation, arch your back, open your chest. Exhale, round your spine, press your palms into the earth, stretch your neck. Inhale, spinal extension. Exhale, spinal flexion, and again, taking this opportunity to create a mind-body connection as facilitated by the breath. Let's return to a neutral spine. Lengthen your left leg out behind you, point your toes. Reach your right arm out in front. Inhale. Exhale, lift your limbs. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. When you lift your leg, engage your left glutes and your left thigh muscles. Move your right arm without drawing your shoulder towards your ear. And we're keeping the pelvis and the torso stable. With each exhalation, find that lower core activation, drawing your lower belly and your navel in towards the spine. Stretching your limbs out in opposite directions each time you raise them. Exhale, lift. Lower your palm down and let's trace small circles in the air with that left leg, pointing your toes, stabilizing the pelvis. Can you reach your leg out a little further? And we'll swap the direction, using the strength of your glutes and your core muscles to foster the movements. Final circle, and lower your leg down. Okay, let's lengthen right leg, left arm. Inhale. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Do your best to lift your leg without arching into the lower back. The activation of our core muscles will support us in maintaining a neutral spine. Continue to press firmly into your right palm and your fingertips to support your wrist. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, and again, create the resistance when you lower down to keep your muscles engaged. On your next exhalation, keep your leg lifted, lower your left palm down. Let's find our circles. We're keeping our hips in parallel, squared to the mat. Engaging your glutes and your thigh muscles. And let's swap the direction of our circles. One more circle. And lower the leg down. Extend your left leg back, point the toes. Inhale. Exhale, tricep push up, bend your elbows, lift your left leg. Inhale to rise, left toes on the earth. Exhale, extend your right leg back, three-legged plank. Inhale, lower the knee. Exhale, push up. Inhale to lift. Exhale, three-legged plank. Inhale to lower, and again. So hug your arms in towards the torso when you lower down. When you lengthen your right leg, engage your glutes. We're bending our elbows behind us rather than out to the side. Creating length with your legs and your spine as you move throughout this combo. With each exhalation, find your core awareness to support you in stabilizing your pelvis. Let's go for 2 more rounds in each direction. One more round. Let's keep our leg lifted in our three-legged plank. Inhale, tap the toes. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. We're keeping the rest of the body stable. We're using glute and core strength to lift that right leg. Navel to spine. Keep gazing towards your mat. Exhale, we lift the leg. Inhale to lower. Let's go for 2 more rounds. Reach that leg out behind you. On your next exhalation, keep the leg lifted. Breathe. Find that core awareness. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. Lower the leg down. Bend your knees. Let's take a moment in child's pose. Turn your palms to face skywards to release your wrists. Walk your hands in towards you. Mindfully lift the torso. Roll your shoulders back. Interlace your fingers together and offer yourself a few circles in each direction to shake out your wrists. Okay, let's perform this combo on the other side. Return to tabletop, lengthen your right leg back behind you, point your toes. Inhale. Exhale, tricep push up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, three-legged plank. Inhale to lower. Exhale, push up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank. Inhale, lower. Keeping the spine and the neck lengthened. Each time you lift or extend one leg, firm up your glutes and your thigh muscles, point your toes. Remember, we bend the elbows behind us, supporting us in engaging the triceps rather than bending the elbows out to the side. Keep drawing the lower abdomen in towards the spine. Find that pelvic floor awareness with each exhalation. Do your best to evenly distribute your weight across your right and left arms. Let's go for 2 more rounds in each direction. Exhale, push up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank. Inhale, lower. Exhale, push up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plank. Keep the leg lifted. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the leg. Inhale, tap the toes down. Exhale to lift, and again. Find that core activation when you lift your leg to help you avoid arching into the lower back. Reach your toes and your limb out behind you. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, just 1 more round. Let's keep that leg lifted and breathe. Well done. Lower the foot down, bend your knees, child's pose. Relax into your body. Relax into your breath. Lift the torso, take a few shoulder rolls, and we'll take a moment to open up our chest and our shoulders. Come into a kneeling position. Place your palms on your sacrum. Engage your core muscles, push your hips forwards, arch your back, and catch a hold of your heels or your ankles. Open your heart. Inhale. And exhale. 1 breath here. Mindfully lift the torso, lower your sits bones down, place the soles of your feet on the mat, keeping your knees bent, reach your arms out in front. Inhale, exhale, engage your core muscles, lower down halfway, Pilates C-curve. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to round and lower. Inhale to lift. So we're really scooping out, hollowing out the lower belly. We're drawing the navel to the spine when we lower down, and we're engaging the pelvic floor with each exhalation. On your next exhalation, stay in your Pilates C-curve. Inhale. Exhale, we lift the arms overhead. Inhale, we lower them out in front. And again, exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Move your arms without drawing your shoulders up towards your ears. Press into your big toe mounds to engage the inner thighs. Keep hollowing out your lower belly. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 1 more round. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, let's lower down all the way onto the mat. Relax your arms. Let's keep a neutral spine. Float your legs to tabletop, knees atop of your hips, toes are pointed. Reach your arms skywards. Inhale. Exhale, reach your right leg and your left arm out in opposite directions. Inhale to lift. Exhale, left leg, right arm. Inhale through center, and again. We are engaging the lower abdominals with each exhalation, and we're mindfully returning through center with control. The intention here is to keep the pelvis stable. Continue to press your shoulder blades down into the mat. We're working with a neutral spine, so lengthen your limbs without arching into the lower back, and return through center without pressing your lower back into the mat. Well done. Hug your knees into the chest. Gently sway from side to side. Release your arms onto the mat. Lower your feet down, hip width distance apart. Shuffle your feet slightly further away from your body towards the edge of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, reach the arms overhead. Pause for the inhalation. Exhale, lift the arms, the torso. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to lower down with your Pilates C curve, arms overhead. Inhale, arms the length of the body. And again, exhale, arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, use core strength to lift up. Inhale, we lengthen the spine. Exhale, we lower down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, arms the length of the body. Option to stick with this variation, or from here we'll extend our legs and come into our Pilates roll up. Inhale. Exhale, reach the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, use core strength, lift the arms and the torso, stretch the spine forwards, arms parallel to the earth. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to lower down, reach the arms overhead. Inhale, arms on the mat, and again. Exhale, arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, we lift up, creating an opposition between your waist and your arms. Inhale to rise, stack your shoulders atop of your hips. Exhale to lower down, round the lower spine, engage the core. Inhale, arms on the mat, and again. Knit your ribs together to avoid puffing up the rib cage. When we rise up, do your best to keep your legs active and your feet always in contact with the earth. When you lower down, draw your navel to the spine, engage the pelvic floor, and we return to the mat. Option to continue with your roll up, or let's explore our rollover. Inhale. Exhale, engage your core, lift your legs and your pelvis, hinge your legs overhead. Inhale, separate your legs to shoulder width distance apart. Exhale, flex your feet, lower the spine down with control. Lower the legs with control. Let's do that again. Inhale, we join the legs together. Exhale, plow pose. Inhale, we separate the legs. Exhale, flex the feet, lower down with a stable pelvis, keep the thigh muscles active. Inhale, we join the legs together, and again, feel free to press into your palms and your arms to give you a little bit more stability and momentum when you roll over. Relax your jaw, your face, and your throat. Do your best to keep your head on the mat when you transition throughout these movements. We're keeping our legs as long and as engaged as possible. Mindfully lower onto the mat with control. Maybe you stick with your rollover, or let's come into our Pilates jackknife. Extend both legs skywards, engage your thighs, point your toes, inhale. Exhale, we lower the legs on a diagonal, inhale. Exhale, hinge your legs back, lift the pelvis, plow pose. Inhale, lower your toes towards the earth. Exhale, engage your glutes, lift your legs and your torso skywards, inhale. Exhale, we lower down one vertebra at a time and return your legs on a diagonal. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, plow pose, legs parallel to the earth. Inhale, we tap the toes down. Exhale, we engage the glutes, we lift the limbs, inhale. Exhale, lower down with a stable pelvis, legs on a diagonal, inhale. And again. So we're doing our best to keep the pelvis as stable as possible throughout these transitions. Engage your glutes when you float your legs up, and use hip and core strength to return onto the mat. Let's go for one final round, lengthening your legs, engaging your core muscles. Return your legs onto a diagonal. Inhale. And exhale, gently lower the legs with control. Hug your knees into the chest. Sway from side to side. Let's come into a side body series. Propping yourself up on one forearm, stacking your shoulder atop of your elbow. Bend your knees, join your feet together, lift your feet up off the mat, lift up through the underside of your waist, and keep your feet roughly aligned with your glutes. You can place the opposite fingertips or your hand on the earth. Exhale, lift your leg, open your knee. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. When you lift your leg, pause for a moment at the top to help you engage your outer hip and your glutes, and lower with control. We're keeping the pelvis and the rest of the body stable. It's just that top leg that's moving. We're keeping the feet together. Exhale, lift. Find the core activation. Inhale, lower. Keep pressing into your forearm and your palm to support your shoulder girdle. One more round. On your next exhalation, open your knee. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lower. Exhale, open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, close. And again, each time you extend your leg skywards, engage your thigh muscles, point your toes. Open that top leg without letting your hips sway back. We're keeping the pelvis stable. Continue to lift up through the underside of the waist using the strength of your obliques. One more round. Exhale, open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower. From here, open your leg. Inhale. Exhale, reach your leg out in front. Inhale to bend. Exhale, we tap the big toe onto the mat. Inhale, we bend. When you lengthen your leg, engage your thigh, your glutes, and your core muscles, and mindfully rebend that knee without letting the pelvis sway. Moving with intention, moving with the power of your breath. Exhale, we lengthen. Inhale, we bend once more. Keep the knees bent, join your heels together, flex your feet, and begin to create small pulses with that top leg, lifting and lowering your leg a few centimeters. Breathing here just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower your leg down, tap out your hip. Let's come into a supported side plank. Bottom knee is bent on the earth. Lengthen your top leg. Raise your top arm skywards. Point your toes. Inhale. Exhale, lift your top leg. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the leg to hip height. Inhale to tap the big toe down, and again, we're moving the leg with control. The rest of the body is stable. Engage your hip and your glutes each time you lift up. Relax any tension around your face or your jaw. Just 2 more rounds. On your next exhalation, keep the leg lifted. Let's trace small circles in the air. The leg is at hip height. The pelvis and the torso are stable. Use core strength. And let's swap the direction of our circles. Continue to breathe. Reach your leg away from the body. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg lifted. Big inhalation. And lower down. Well done. Roll the shoulders. Let's find our mermaid stretch. Inhale. Exhale, reach your arms skywards, side bend. Inhale to rise. Exhale, lateral spinal flexion. Inhale to lift, and again, breathing into the side body. Rise up, roll your shoulders back, and let's come into our side body series on the other side. So we'll start on our forearm. To begin with, our knees are bent, feet are lifted, aligned with our glutes. Shoulder is the top of elbow. Inhale. Exhale, lift your top leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. So we're keeping the feet connected. We're engaging that outer hip and glute each time we open that top leg. Keep lifting up through the underside of your waist rather than collapsing your torso towards the earth. Let's go for 3 more rounds. On your next exhalation, lift your knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lower. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower, and again. Move that top leg without swaying your pelvis or your torso. Each time you lengthen that leg, engage your thigh muscles, point your toes. Just 1 more round. From here, lift that top knee, inhale. Exhale, reach the leg out in front. Inhale, we bend. Exhale, we extend. Inhale, we bend. Tap the big toe on the mat and rebend your leg with control. Engage your glutes and your thighs when you lengthen. Continue to feel the awareness and the engagement of your core muscles. Just 2 more rounds. Exhale, we lengthen. Inhale, we bend. Final round. Join your heels together, flex your feet, find your small pulses here, lifting and lowering that top leg, using glute strength. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Lower that leg down, give yourself a little massage, and let's come into our side plank series. Knee on the earth is bent, raising our top arm skywards, point your toes, inhale. Exhale, we lift the leg. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, and again, keep reaching that leg away from you, pausing for a moment at the top each time you lift up to find that hip activation. Smile through this exercise. This can be really challenging. Use the power of your breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 1 more round. On this next exhalation, let's keep our leg lifted. Finish off with your controlled circles. The rest of the body is stable. Lengthening that leg. Swap the direction of your circles. And let's keep that leg lifted. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Lift the torso, roll the shoulders. Let's find our mermaid. Inhale. Exhale, side bend, let it all go. Inhale to rise 3 more times at your own tempo. Return through center, roll your shoulders, turn to face the short edge of your mat, knees are bent, and let's come to lower down onto our backs. Walk your heels in towards your glutes, feet hip-width distance apart. Inhale. On an exhalation, tilt your pelvis, engage your glutes, peel your lower back and your mid-back up off the mat. Inhale. Exhale to lower down one vertebra at a time. Inhale. Exhale, we lift, pause for the inhalation. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, neutral spine, and again. The next time you lower down, keep a neutral spine. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower your sacrum onto the mat. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, and again. Engage your glutes each time you lift up and lower with control. We want to knit the ribs together so that we're not flaring the rib cage. Use core strength and pelvic floor engagement each time you lift up, releasing any tightness from around your face or your jaw. You're welcome to stick with this exercise, or on your exhalation, lift your pelvis. Pause for the inhalation. Exhale, lift your right leg to tabletop. Inhale, lower the pelvis down. Exhale to lift. Inhale, we lower the sacrum. Exhale to lift, engaging your left glutes each time we lift that leg. Both hips remain at the same height when we move the pelvis. If you need, you can press into your arms and your hands for more stability. On your next exhalation, lift your pelvis, engage your left glutes. Inhale, straighten your right leg skywards. Exhale, bend your knee. Inhale, lower the pelvis down. Let's do that again. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we bend. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower. So it's still the power of the left leg and the left glutes that are driving these movements. Each time you lengthen your right leg, firm up your quads, point your toes. Ensure that both hips stay at the same height, no matter where the pelvis is in space. We're going to be adding on. Exhale, lift the pelvis. Inhale, lengthen your leg. Exhale, lower the leg aligned with the opposite thigh. Inhale to lift the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lower the pelvis. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lower the pelvis, and again. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower, and again. So it's a 6 count movement. When you lower that leg, flex your foot. When you lift your leg, point your toes. And be sure to keep both hips at the same height throughout these transitions. Use the strength of your left glutes to power these movements. We have just one more round. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, pelvis on the mat. From here, lift the pelvis. Either keep a bent knee or a straight leg. Let's find our pulses. Lifting and lowering the hips using glute strength. We're here just for 8. 7, continue to breathe. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg lifted. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knee, lower the foot down. Mindfully lower the pelvis, hug your knees into the chest. Interlace your fingers around your left shin, lengthen your right leg onto the mat, and begin to trace circles in the air with that left leg, stretching into the hip and the glutes, moving in both directions. From here, let's come into a spinal twist. Guide that leg across the body. Cactus your left arm out at shoulder height. Breathe. Return through center, hug your knees in. Let's come into our scissors to stretch the backs of our legs. Inhale. Exhale, engage your core muscles. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. Catch a hold of the back of one leg, lengthen the opposite leg. Inhale, we switch. Exhale, we switch. Keeping the spine rounded, press your lumbar spine firmly into the mat. Keep your legs as straight as possible, core muscles are switched on. If you'd like a challenge, you can extend your arms the length of the body. Feeling the stretch for the backs of your legs. We're here for 4, 3, 2, final round. And hug your knees into the chest. Well done. Okay, let's explore our unilateral bridge lift on the other side. Inhale. Exhale, engage your glutes, lift your pelvis, float your left leg into tabletop. Inhale, we lower the hips down. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, we lift. So now it's the back of the right leg that's working to power these movements. Notice if you begin to harbor tension around your face or the upper body. See if you can soften into these regions. Notice if that left hip begins to drop towards the earth. Try to keep your left and your right hip at the same height. Okay, friends, let's add on. Exhale, lift the pelvis. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower, and again. So each time you lengthen your left leg, firm up your quads, point your toes, find your longest leg line. And we lower the sacrum down with control, ensuring that both hips always stay at the same height. Keep driving into your right heel and the big toe mound of your right foot. Always listen to your body. If you need to slow down the movements, maybe take a rest, a breather, know that that is okay. Let's go for one more round. And then we're going to add on. Okay, friends, exhale, lift the pelvis. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, lower the leg. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lower the pelvis, and again. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we straighten. Exhale, we lower the leg. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lower the pelvis, and again. So when we have the leg straightened, we lower it to the height of the opposite thigh, and we lift it skywards with control. Let's keep going. Exhale, lift. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower the leg, foot is flexed. Inhale, lift the leg, foot is pointed. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lower, and again, use the strength of your right leg. Remind yourself of just how powerful you are. Channel the fluidity of your breath. We have just one more round like this. Exhale, lift. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lower. Well done, friends. Let's keep the pelvis lifted, either bending or straightening that top leg. Let's finish off with our pulses. Breathe with it. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg lifted. Keep the pelvis lifted. Inhale. Exhale, lower the foot down. Lower the spine down. Hug your knees in. Well done, friends. Okay, lengthen your left leg, interlace your fingers around your right shin, and recreate your circles in both directions. Cactus your right arm out at shoulder height, spinal twist. Breathe. Gently release from the twist. Lower your feet down to about mat width distance apart. Cactus both arms at shoulder height. And begin to gently lower your legs from one side to the other. Perhaps you turn your head in the opposite direction. Maybe you move to the rhythm of your breath, or maybe not. Take your time to really stretch into the hips and the lower back. Return through center, hug your knees into the chest, and let's rock up into a seated position. Separate your legs to shoulder width distance apart, flex your feet, firm up your quads, lengthen your spine and reach your arms out at shoulder height. Inhale. Exhale, pivot to the right hand towards the outer edge of your left foot, gaze back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, pivot to the left, gaze towards your right hand. Inhale through center and again, so we keep the legs active, the pelvis is stable. We're pivoting the torso with the support of our core muscles. And each time we rise up, lengthen your spine. Exhale to twist, flexion, rotation. Let's go for one more round in each direction. Feel the stretch for your spine and maybe the backs of your legs. And gently release. Join your legs together now, point your toes. Reposition your pelvis as needed. Inhale, raise the arms, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold towards your legs. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, palms on the earth. Inhale, reverse plank. Exhale, lower. Let's do that again. Inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lift. Exhale, arms on the earth. Inhale, reverse plank. Exhale to lower. Twice more at your own tempo, really allowing the breath to guide these gentle transitions. The next time you find your reverse plank, pause here, engage your glutes and your core, open your heart, scissor your thighs together, point your toes, breathe. Relax your face and your jaw. Maybe you lift your hips a little higher, one more breath. And gently lower the pelvis down. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, seated forward fold. Allow the spine and the neck to round. Breathe. Mindfully lift the torso, roll your shoulders back and down, come into a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes, inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left, and again. Once more in each direction. Really giving yourself permission to relax into the face and the upper body. And the next time you return through center, lower one ear towards one shoulder and begin to circle your head and your neck. Maybe you swap the direction of your circles. Return through center. Roll your shoulders back. And give yourself a moment here to connect with your breath and to integrate the nourishing benefits of our practice together. On your next inhalation, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, join your palms at heart center as a gesture of loving gratitude for your practice. And again, inhale, stretch the arms. Exhale, palms to your heart. Once more. And take a moment to thank yourself for investing in this moment to nurture your well-being. If you enjoyed this practice, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you like longer duration classes like this one. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a beautiful day.